Hey everyone, Mike here. What you're about to watch is a clip from the DevOps Lounge stream. If you'd like to join us, then head on over to chat.learndevops.com.au. See you there. Should AWS CloudFormation be used to create baseline EC2 instances, or should it create production-ready instances? So the question's a little he says, sorry if the title is unclear. It sort of is. Currently using CloudFormation template to deploy Tableau server on EC2 instance. Everything is currently baked in the template, such as creating the instance, joining the domain, tagging resources, installing the application, activating, and initializing it. So I sort of see where this person is coming from here with regards to this question. And so what I believe this person actually needs here is they need to bake their own AMI. They need to create a custom AMI. So it sounds as though this person needs to sit down with my favorite tool for doing this, and that is HashiCorp Packer. It's the only real way to get this done. It's the most popular tool, and it's the best tool to get this done. So let's describe the problem. So he's got to install some software. He's got to stand up an EC2 instance, and then he's got to install some software on there. So what does that mean? Well, it means that every time he's running his CloudFormation stack, what's going to happen is he's got to run that same script every single time, and it does everything. It installs everything. It's going to be extremely time consuming. It's not really going to be that ideal running this script every single time. It's going to be very, very slow. So I would recommend that he checks out, or I recommend that they check out HashiCorp Packer, because it's simply designed to pre-bake an AMI for you. Now, why would you want to do this? So what you want to do is you want to build an AMI because it's basically going to pre-bake as much of the software and the configuration into it as much as possible. So you want to actually deploy the actual software itself. So in this case, it's Tableau server, but it could also be WordPress, could be Drupal, it could be Redis, it could be Postgres, it could be MySQL, it could be SQL Server, it could be your own custom app. It could just be absolutely anything. So you can put almost anything inside of this image ahead of time. You can also put security tools in place as well. So if you're on Linux, you'd look at things like fail to ban. If you're using SSH to manage the servers, you'd put fail to ban in place. It can actually do more than SSH. It's not just SSH, but by default, that's what it does. And that's going to sort of very, very drastically reduce the amount of automated attacks against port 22 on your Linux host. Or if you're on a Windows server, you might use it you might want to pre-bake automatically the Windows Firewall and Windows Defender. And you might want to automatically turn them on, and you might want to configure them and automatically block certain ports or enable certain ports and so on and so forth. And you can also put other things in there as well, like debugging tools. So on Linux, you might want to install HTOP on top of your Linux system, so that if you're SSHing in and you're analyzing the usage of your custom software, maybe in the very early days, you can use HTOP to sort of get an idea of what that looks like. What's the CPU usage? What's the RAM usage, disk, network, and so on and so forth? How many processors have you got? You might want to do S-tracing. And so you can pre-bake those things into the AMI so that when you're standing it up, you can then connect and you can analyze the application. And then, of course, in the future, when you don't need to do that anymore, or you externalize that and you pull that information out instead into an external system, so you don't need to SSH in anymore, you then update the AMI to take away those tools for security purposes. And so you drastically reduce the sort of security vectors and attack points, minimize the amount that you've got installed, and you just have in there what you need in there. So overall, the idea is to bring stability to the process of delivering software. Okay, so DevOps is about software delivery. It's about ideation. It's about planning. It's about constructing an idea of what you want, then planning it down, breaking it down, then writing software, then delivering the software, then measuring the software and measuring the customer's feedback, and then looping all the way back around again and just continuing that cycle. But one of the other things that DevOps does for us, I've got Terraform on the brain. One of the other things that DevOps does for us is it brings us stability to the delivery of the software. And inside of that concept, you've got things like pre-baked AMIs, or golden images as they're traditionally called. So you want to pre-bake as much as you can into an Amazon machine image and AMI, so that you're bringing stability to the process. You're removing human error, but you're also speeding things up as well. So in this case, essentially what I wouldn't do is I wouldn't use CloudFormation for anything, quite frankly. I don't really like CloudFormation. I don't think it's really that good. I'd use Terraform. It's far better Terraform was far better in the long run, but this individual is using CloudFormation, so unfortunately that might not be an option for them. Might not be. It's not certainly not an option for everyone. I wouldn't pack any shell scripts into the CloudFormation, including the domain join stuff as well. I would have the ability for the domain joining to be baked into the AMI as well, so that when a compute resource like an EC2 instance is created from the AMI and then it boots and the cloud init process triggers, I would have that script pre-baked in, discovers where it is, how to join a domain, talks to particular DNS records, and so on and so forth, to then work out how it then connects to the domain and join that domain. Very nice.